Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's live Vendasta webinar coming from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. If you can hear me and see my screen okay, send me a quick chat. And how about we'll go with today, and let me know if you use G Suite or if you're using any Google products currently. All right. Awesome. I've got people that can hear me, they can see me. We've got people that use G Suite. Awesome. Thank you very much. That makes my job a lot easier now that I know that you can hear me and see me. Perfect. So for everyone on the line, my name is Janessa. I am the demand manager for Marketplace. And here with me today is Levi Johnson, the product manager for Marketplace. Welcome, Levi.
Well, hello.
And we're here to talk to you guys about G Suite. It is Levi's first webinar, so be nice with him. So as you may have seen in, Partner Center or the press release that went out, or even on one of our social pages, or you might have got an email, or even in the amazing blog that was put up yesterday. If you haven't read this yet, I highly recommend it. We've officially released G Suite into the marketplace. As a reminder to everyone on the line, if you haven't been to one of our webinars before, Marketplace is your single source of truth for all the products that Vendasta offers. The Marketplace team works hard to bring together the best solutions and the best rates for you, our partners. Access to the Marketplace lives right in Partner Center. You can get all the products right from there. If this does not look familiar to you, please let us know and we'll get you connected with someone from our team that can take you through it. And the big thing here, every Marketplace product is a new revenue stream for your company. A quick housekeeping item, as usual, we'll do a live Q&A at the very end of the session. So if you think of any questions during this presentation, please type them into that chat box and they'll be answered at the end of the session. All right, so let's get started. So briefly, the big question, why G Suite? Pretty easy, why G Suite? Because everything that you see here is encompassed in G Suite. We've got Gmail, we've got Hangouts, we've got Drive where you can work seamlessly, as well as many other things. So the big thing about G Suite that I really want to talk to you today is how can you use it, how can you take it to get your company as well as your clients' companies to max velocity. On the left side, what you see is a sailboat moving slowly with a group of people watching a single captain steer the ship. So this is very similar to way typical teams and companies have worked over the past 10 plus years. On the right, you see a team of people working together in a new sailing paradigm, the hydrofoil, and collaborating as one to achieve max velocity toward their objective. So this analogy, we want to really take it and explain it as this is a lot what Google Apps is doing for your business and more importantly, for your client's business. Connecting people together is the catalyst for change in organizations. So that's what Google Apps does. Because an idea in the mind of one may be good, but it becomes a game changer when a teammate runs with it. When someone else punches holes in it, when R&D pushes it further, when global sales monetize it, when marketing names it, when an idea takes on a life of its own, you know you have something special. That's how businesses operate when they're connected. So you're smashing all of those silos, you're bringing people together, you're accelerating that sharing process so that no ideas get left in the margins. But as most of us on the line know, people have already started doing this without any assistance. First, people are connecting from places beyond the office. Today, people connect from taxis and hotels, from coffee shops, even from airplanes. Me personally, I know where we work, I've been able to work from home quite a few days. Second, People are connecting from more devices, laptops, smartphones, tablets, now even watches. The average worker has between 3 to 5 devices, and that number is going up. So people recognize the need to be productive, share knowledge, and share assets from anywhere, from any device, anytime. And people that are coming into the workplace now expect more. They expect to be able to work from their phones, and they expect collaboration to be effortless. I think everyone, me included, we expect this all the time. I go home and I work on the same things from home. I can pick up my computer at home and open the exact same tabs I have up at work, so I can continue working without needing to worry about what device I have. And to be productive today is to be connected. Today's workers expect this. We've got a whole generation that is coming into the workforce that's never lived without internet. They don't expect to be able not to be connected. That's why business social networks are becoming such a big focus. When you want to find something out, email will never be as quick or as natural as a quick text message or a quick messenger message. And if it's not quick and natural, it's not the way forward. So it's a start, but is it enough? Working from your phone and being able to use social networks at work are great advancements, but it's not enough. Something fundamental is missing. Companies have adopted the latest and greatest tools, but have they really changed how they make decisions or drive consensus? The latest versions of familiar tools are comfortable because they are not fundamentally different. The reality, though, is for most companies is that nothing about the way they work has changed, even that latest upgrade. In contrast, companies that are moving fast are changing how they engage employees and make decisions. And they're doing this by rethinking the tools that they currently use. So this might look familiar to a lot of people on the line, but it also might look familiar to a lot of the companies you deal with. This is the model we've been trained to use over the last 30 years, and it's still the way most of us work. I know before I joined Vendasta, this is exactly what I use. This was my workflow every day. You go to your PC, launch your word processor, and start a new document. Then you send it to some people by email, or if you're lucky, through a file server. Everyone uses the track changes, and I remember that red that showed up that always made you think of your professor crossing your ideas out. And you save it as a, version 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and then you send it back. They send it back to you, and you're left consolidating all of these multiple versions into one. Then when you're finished one round, you start the whole process over again. This process is slow, and it's really not very engaging. This type of ineffective collaboration supported by poor tooling actually slows you down. It can lead to death by committee problems, where having to wait for everyone's input means no one ever creates anything worthwhile. Contrast that with the type of environment where people are most productive. When you put everyone in a room together and get the tools out of the way, amazing things happen. Decisions get made quickly, brand new ideas are discovered, often accidentally. The goal with Google Apps for Work is to create more of this kind of collaboration from anywhere, to create an environment where people can create, think, and reason together to achieve shared goals without technology getting in the way. So, what does this experience look like? Well, it looks like people creating together in real time from wherever they are and from whatever device they're on. It looks like teams making decisions faster because they can reach consensus faster. It looks like people talking face-to-face when they want to, so coworkers can see each other's expressions and reactions to ideas. It looks like a single place for all the stuff a team creates. No more dealing with versions, which I am so glad to see gone. It's one source of truth that's always up to date for everyone. And since it's Google, Of course, it's easy to search to find the information or expertise you're looking for. It looks like people being able to easily extend their work ecosystem to an outside contractor and then just as easily pull it back when the project is over. It looks like a team tracking performance in real time all week instead of a groggy Monday morning meeting. Google has built the software equivalent of putting everyone in a room together. Their goal with it isn't just to make an integrated set of tools in the cloud, it's to create a better engagement experience for people at work. So if you make that move to Google, what is going to be different? What results can you expect? Well, I can say from firsthand experience, collaboration makes a business stronger, more productive, and more innovative. At Google, I know they do say that collaboration has to move you beyond productivity to reach your goals. When a project can be finished weeks instead of months because the team can make fast decisions, that's a pretty big deal. You would stay ahead of all of your competition. The second thing is that they're adding intelligence into every one of the collaboration tools to make work simpler and more efficient. So for example, the average person spends about 300 minutes every month on activities related to scheduling and rescheduling meetings, because it usually doesn't work out that first time. They're working on creating an order of magnitude reduction in this time by applying machine learning. You should be able to just speak things into your calendar that communicate your intent, and your calendar should do the rest. So for example, something like find a time in my calendar, smart reply in inbox. I know personally, I love that smart reply, or the reminders every time it pops up and says, hey, you haven't responded to this in 2 days. Do you want to respond to it? It makes a huge difference. When our tools become smarter, every one of us is more efficient, productive, and happy. And then finally, we can help people integrate their work and their life. When employees can replace an afternoon meeting with a hangout and therefore not miss dinner with the family, that's pretty massive, especially for a small business owner. That could be a game changer for them. Google Apps for Work is being used by more than 5 million companies, including pretty large ones like banks, universities, and government agencies. These are 5 million companies who made the decision to become digital businesses because they recognize how the business landscape is changing. So with Google, companies like Whirlpool, who has teams working across multiple continents, by switching to Google, they could collapse geography to bring their teams together to innovate faster as though they were in a single office. Or companies like Phil's Coffee in the Bay Area, by adopting Google Apps for Work, they got every one of their employees set up in less than 20 minutes, instantly connecting the managers across their stores. PwC adopted Google Apps to meet their needs and saw so much potential that they added a dedicated practice to help organizations transform with Google Apps for Work. So why do these companies choose Google? The entire focus is on creating that spirit of engagement and real-life collaboration for teams. They originally created these tools because they needed them for themselves. So they created them for Google to use. Now these tools are core to the way Google works and really reflect the values of engagement, empowerment, and speed. The products are designed to be effortless. When you can take the technology out of the way, people can work better. Contrast a hangout with a traditional conference call, which is faster. Scrolling through your email to find a conference call number, dialing in, entering your passcode, entering it again because you pressed the wrong number, or in my case, because your phone never picks up on the keys, then saying your name and pressing pound, then listening to some of that fun music at the end. Or clicking a link from your calendar event, a link that was automatically generated by the calendar, and instantly being face-to-face with your team. And when you end the hangout, you're even immediately shown the rest of your day's schedule, including the link for your next hangout. Apps is designed to support the way people want to work together and to get out of the way otherwise. Google Apps is built on the largest, most secure, most scalable, and highest performing infrastructure in the world. It's the infrastructure that powers Google Search, Ads, YouTube, and Maps. Google pioneered technologies like MapReduce, containers, Kubernetes, and all our apps run on that next generation infrastructure. Everything from the way that you store data at rest to the way that you push the edge of the network worldwide is optimized. So you get the same high performance, real-time experience from anywhere, again, from any device. Well, every company today is about leveraging the power of collaboration. Most are just now bringing their software into the modern era, retrofitting it with collaboration features so teams can share their documents or group chat. Google Apps started there, and they are looking to what's next. Google has always been an internet-based company, so they know how important security, privacy, and compliance are for you as well as for businesses. With Google Apps, they provide you with a level of security few can match. They're focused on security across the entire life cycle of the content, from the moment you type a character on your device, to the time it reaches the network to how it's stored at rest on one of the servers. They've spent years developing one of the world's most advanced and secure infrastructures. So if I were to summarize everything, there are 3 themes that differentiate Google: everything, 10x technology, and it's beyond productivity. Industry experts like Gartner, Forrester, TechCrunch, and many others recognize these differentiators. When people are connected, they are more creative and able to make decisions faster. This means that ideas lead to transformative change for the business faster. Google Apps empowers companies to achieve that max velocity. So let us help you bring this to your business as well as your clients. Let us help exercise new transformative muscles. Let us teach the new work styles that is supported by a new set of tools. The tools are the catalyst by the transformative change. When you engage and work together with other people, your organization will naturally generate more ideas and be more creative. So let's help people create room for innovation. We want to help them change from the old way of working. The endless create, communicate, comment, consolidate cycle that we've all grown up with needs to be replaced by a new real-time, interactive style of collaboration. And let us help them take some risks to achieve the outcomes that they want. To be able to change is to be able to grow. We want businesses to be able to achieve that max velocity. So that's a little bit more about G Suite. Some of you might be pretty familiar with it. Some of you, this might be your first time interacting with it. So now that we know why G Suite through Vendasta? Well, easy. Becoming a G Suite reseller through us, you save time and money. Google has a very difficult and strict qualification process for partners and mandates a minimum of 100 provisioned seats on the product before they will even consider you partnering with an organization. After that, you have to complete a credit check and a number of other preliminary qualifiers. And remember, Vendasta is a white label platform. So every Vendasta-owned product and service that you want to sell through us will have your branding on it. It's almost like you are a reseller. So with that, you've probably heard enough of me talking. So I'm gonna pass it over to Levi, and he's gonna take us right into the platform where he's gonna do a live demo.
Well, hello everyone. This is my first, as Jessa said, first webinar. And this will be the first live demo on it. So I've named the company Lucky Oyster to hope to give me make sure that everything works as smoothly during this demo as it has beforehand. So I want to show you how we take, how we fully provision a G Suite account end to end, and give you some kind of tips and tricks on how to do it. So of course, first, you'll have had to have enabled the G Suite product. And one thing that we highly recommend is that you do set up a user, a Business Center user for each person who will be getting a seat in G Suite. You'll notice I've done this already to save a little bit of time. And you'll notice that they are using the domain branded email, which should match what they will be getting in G Suite. You can set this in advance. And it gives your users a much better login experience. So this is one kind of just recommended piece of advice that I'll give you. In our example today, we will be activating G Suite for 3 seats, filling them up. So it's as easy as going to activate products. G Suite, of course, has already been enabled. And we've got G Suite right here. So we'll point out there that G Suite, the base product, comes with 1 seat. So if you're going to be filling it for a single client or a client with a single user, this is all you need.
And something to note here too that I know is really great, especially for anyone that maybe is currently already a G Suite reseller. If you do it through this workflow, you don't have to worry about getting a seat for yourself.
That's right. Yeah, and I will. Let's talk about that. So we have we're gonna have the order form show up right here. We're just gonna click that we understand base product includes 1 seat, and that it's for new activations only. I will show you a transfer in a little while. And so let's quick talk about 3 different scenarios here. So the first scenario is you have a client that wants to do all of the setup and admin work themselves. Probably a less common scenario, but it could happen. So if this is the case, you would enter in their email address right here, because this is the email address that's going to be getting all the setup instructions and the admin password reset. So definitely put your client's email address in here if it's going to be them. A different scenario is you want to have a dedicated seat for yourself. Now the dedicated seat does cost $47.50, but if you are selling to a client that really wants somebody to have a fully dedicated seat, you would put in your information up in the username Business Center user and your email address for the email address.
And Levi, I know we've talked about this just between us, but if you're setting up G Suite for somebody else, that's a pretty good markup.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely. There's a lot of room to make a good markup for this during the initial setup piece of it, and it's quite easy to do. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be the third scenario, and it's a very common scenario where you're going to be putting in your client's information into this username and Business Center user piece, but then you put your own email address in for this admin. And what this lets you do is it lets you administer G Suite for as long as you wish, and then when you finish the setup piece, you can give it back to the client to hold for themselves. So we'll go through that. So we're going to pick Business Center. We'll pick Mark. Again, highly recommend that you match these 2 together. So we've got Mark and Mark down here. And for the admin email address, I'm gonna put in myself right here. So 208@gmail.com. And this is going to let me, as the person activating this piece, to get the information that I need. And of course, we cannot forget the domain name. Put that in there right there. So this is for the base product. We also have down here the 2 extra seats. Now we don't have to do any setup for these. We'll handle that later. We just need to know that there's 2 more. So in total, we have 3 seats for the
So someone brand new to G Suite, they've never used it before. What's the simplest way to say what the seats are?
So seat, just think of it like a physical seat. It's something that you can put a user in. So if you have 3 seats, you haven't assigned users to them yet. And you can fill them with whoever you want. You need 2 salesmen or salespeople or things like that. It's think of a seat as something that'll hold a user for you.
Perfect.
So we're going to purchase this, and I'm going to hit go. Now, one thing you'll notice is that you hit purchase on this, and as the products come here, they're not active immediately. And that's because we do a lot of kind of behind the scenes API calls to Google. We're doing a lot of the setup, in the background. You don't have to really think about. When I say it takes a while, it generally only takes a minute, 5 minutes. It's not a long time. But so that we don't have to wait here for 5 minutes while we wait for this, I'm going to pop over to the email address that I put in before. And what's going to happen, we'll notice these turn on pretty quick. But in the meantime, what you will get, and this was for a domain that I had set up just previous to this, the admin email address is going to be getting a password reset. So this is why we don't handle it setting up any G Suite passwords. We allow just yourself and your clients to go through this. So since I've already hit reset password, it won't let me do it again. But when you hit this, it pops open a web page with a simple form. You put in the new password that you want to use, and from that point you're in. You're going to see a few terms of services. You accept those. And then it takes you right into Google's admin console. Now, if you are familiar with setting up if you're familiar with domain verification, MX email setup, all that kind of thing, you can continue to do that through Google's admin console like you would normally. But we understand there's a lot of people who may not be familiar with this process. So what we're going to do, I'll roll the dice and see if these are active yet.
All
right, it's looking like they're lighting up.
That looks promising.
There we go. So this is how long it takes to go in. What I am going to do though is I have accepted the terms of service on another account. So I'm going to just pop over to another account. We're in the same piece. So we're going to go over Lucky Fish. Exactly the same scenario. I just had done this previously. So one thing I really want to point out, and it's very important for you to know, is that we have a special G Suite admin partner portal just for you. And to get in there, you're either going to click on the hyperlink right here, or you're going to go into Launch. Both will take you to the same place.
So probably a brand new workflow for everyone on the line, but definitely interesting that you can click on the name or go to Launch to get to this new area.
And so this area allows you to do a few different things. First is a banner saying the complete setup before using G Suite. So G Suite is a product that once you've activated, there still are a few steps that you have to do to make it useful for yourself or your clients. If you haven't gone through a G Suite setup before, we kind of guide you and hold your hand. We take you through what the process is. So if you go to the setup, the first thing you need to do is the domain verification piece. We provide the TXT record for you, and what you do need to have is access to the domain. So you have to be able to log into whatever domain. In this case, it's a Lucky Fish. Could be any domain provider. It could be GoDaddy. Could be it could be anything. You log in, and there'll be a place to put this TXT record in the domain. Don't worry if you've never done it before. Google provides full instructions. I click on it right here, and Google shows exactly what you need to do.
As well as a hint, if you've never done it before, Google search and you'll find how to do it. I know when I joined this team, I had never done it before. I'd never even heard of TXT before, and I was able to do it within minutes just from doing a Google search.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
Yeah,
it can feel intimidating, but it's not. Once you completed it, so I'm not going to spend that time doing this, but pretend that I've gone and tossed that TXT record in there. All I'm going to do is going to click this and hit verify. Now, I'm getting a message right here that says, oh, I wasn't able to verify the domain at this time. The reason for this is it does take some time. Usually it's about 20 minutes, but sometimes it takes about an hour for Google to actually be able to see these records. And that's just Google doing its thing. So you may have to wait about an hour to get this done, just to set expectations. Once you can hit this as many times as you want. You can try every 5 or 10 minutes, or you can come back to it the next day. But once Google sees it, this is going to turn into a green check mark, and you're done. And you're very close to being finished. You also do need to set up MX records. Now we can't do that within this portal right here, but we have guided instructions on how to do that. And it's very similar. It's a series of, I think, 5 or 7 records that you're going to be adding to the domain. And it just allows your mail to be routed to Gmail. Quite easy to do, and again, we provide all the instructions here for you. Finally, and this piece is very dependent on every situation, but there's also email migration. So your client or yourself, you may want to be pulling in old email into G Suite. Google provides great instructions on how to do it. It's very different between each environment, so we can't give you like a one set way on how to do it. But again, it's Google. They provide excellent instructions on how to do it. Go through these 3 steps and your setup is complete. You're ready for at least this first user right here to be using G Suite. Now you'll notice we have 2 seats here who are not filled right now, 2 available. And this is why we had created those Business Center users in advance, because we don't, it's a little bit easier to not have to do them right now. So to fill these 2 seats, it's as simple as clicking on, I believe this is called a kebab.
It's called a kebab, yeah.
And going to create user. Now you're going to pick one of your previous users here. We'll pick Harold.
So, Levi, what if you didn't create them beforehand?
Yeah.
Could you go back and create them as Business Center users and then come to this point?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Don't panic. You're all fine. If you haven't created them, you just won't be able to select anything here, and you'll have to back out and create them at that point. So
Perfect.
it works fine. It's just a little easier to have them created in advance. You'll notice that we populate for you the first name, last name, and G Suite username. You don't have to do all that typing. The nice thing about this, though, is that we automatically match the Business Center user email with the G Suite username.
Yeah.
And again, it's very important to, and I'll explain why a little bit in more detail later, but we do recommend that these two match, and it's to provide a unified login experience. So once you have this, you hit create user, and immediately, as soon as this window is done, this user can now log in to Business Center. I'll show you how quick it is. I'll go create user. I'll just fly through this. Sarah Reed, she's in there. Now, if you want to create an alternate email for G Suite password recovery, you can put it in. You don't have to.
I'm sure they'll ask when you sign in. They do that to me all the time.
And there we go. Our 3 users are set up. Now, another nice thing we have here is if you want to edit, and maybe you want to assign it to a different Business Center user, you can do that. Now, I don't have a 4th one set up, but if I had a 4th one set up, I could just give this to a different. So if you have changing staff, you can move things around this way, as well as make changes here too. If I wanted to then update their email, I could do that. Now, this is coming straight from Google. Sometimes this takes up to 10 minutes to come into effect. So if you're modifying existing G Suite usernames, you just want to be aware that it might take a few minutes. We're going to cancel out of here. And essentially this is a fully functioning and finished G Suite setup. End-to-end, users can now go in. Now, I did gloss over the verified domain. That takes about an hour, not an hour of your time, but an hour end-to-end for Google to see it. MX records are really simple to do. And here we go. We've got a fully set up G Suite account. Now this is, of course, just for new users. This is for if your clients do not have G Suite already. I'm sure some of you will have clients that already have G Suite, and you want to transfer that over to yourself. You want to manage that for them. They want a single provider for all of their programs. So we do support it. Before I get into transfers, what I should quickly show you is the path on how does somebody actually access G Suite? How do they get in?
Yeah.
One way is as simple as your users just accessing it like anybody else. Go to mail.google.com or sheets.google.com. They can go directly. What they will notice is that when they try to log in, they'll be directed to a Business Center login page. So it's important to know that they'll always be logging in with their Business Center credentials. It ties them to all of your other products, but then they pass straight through to Gmail. The other way you can do it, and I'm going to impersonate right here, I'm going to kind of show you 2 things through this. So with this person that already has a G Suite, it's going to be in their products right here. Now, wait, it's grayed out. I can't click on it. I can't access it. Well, that's a security measure on our part. We don't allow impersonation to get into somebody else's G Suite account, so you can't actually do it. If I was the real user logged in with my own credentials, this would not be grayed out.
So if I don't like Harold, I can't go in and send
That's right.
emails on his
That's right.
behalf. All right, that seems fair. That seems fair.
You actually have, you have to log in with Harold. Harold has to log in with his credentials to get in. But he will notice that this is not grayed out, and he passes straight through to the G Suite portal. So it's a nice way of kind of bringing people into Business Center with G Suite, if that's the path that you want to go. So that's setting up a new G Suite. But let's quick talk about how to do a transfer. You have a customer who already has G Suite and they want it to be yours.
Yep.
A fantastic opportunity to sell something to somebody that they already have. What we're going to do is I'm going to switch to a different account for this. Let's pick this Spaghetti Works. And I don't even have to do any real setup at this point to show you how it works. So I'm not going to put any users in or anything like that. To do a transfer, it's a separate product, which you will notice that you will not be able to see it at this point to enable it. So if you go looking for it right now, you're not going to see it. That's because this is brand new, and we are offering it to our few select partners as a whitelist capability. So
if you're interested in the G Suite transfer, if you're dealing with one of those over 5 million businesses that are already using G Suite, just reach out to our Success on Demand team, and they can help you get it set up so that it shows for you, and so you can start doing those transfers.
So with this, I'm going to simply select it, hit continue. Again, this is for a client who already has G Suite, but they want you to have it. So the trick for this is for a client to transfer G Suite over to you. They have to generate a transfer token. I mean, this is just so that you can't just take anybody's G Suite account and assign it to yourself. So your client will need to go to this admin.google.com/transfer token, and it will very clearly show them it's like a secret key or password to give to you, and it looks something like, just like this. It'll be a token that looks just like this. So we're going to, your client is going to have given you this token. You are going to place it right here. And then we are going to go to the domain. And again, this is going to be your client's domain that they want to be associated with, that is currently associated with their G Suite. You can put it in there. Now it says I understand it'll be billed for activated products, but this one's free, so you don't have to worry about it all. You can go through this far and hit purchase, and you will not be billed for anything at this point. What this does is we need to figure out how many seats we're actually going to be bringing over from your client. We don't know if it's a single seat, if it's 50, or if it's 100, and you need to know this information in order to accept the billing. So what we do is we'll show it to you. You don't have to figure it out in advance. So when you hit purchase, again, we're in this pending state for G Suite transfer. It's very similar to activating a new G Suite account. Now this is actually much faster if I hit refresh now.
So the big thing about that is you don't have to worry about figuring out how many seats, not suites, oh my goodness, sorry, how many seats your client is using. And they don't have to figure it out, because you know what? It's probably a hard number to even figure out. This is going to do that for you.
Yeah. So just like the G Suite Partner Admin Portal, you can be either clicking on the name or hitting launch. I guess I'll show it this way. And again, this is a new workflow for everyone. This is nobody's seen this screen before, but this is the confirmed transfer. So I see, my client wants to transfer 3 seats over to me.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to cost per seat and the yearly charge. And all I need to do is hit, yeah, I'm cool with that. I've talked to my client and this is all good. Confirm transfer. And then what this will do is it creates the G Suite product and the add-ons for you. You don't have to go in and do anything like that. It takes about a minute or two. If we refresh the page, you'll see the transfer is in progress. So it's not instantaneous, but our developers have done their very best to make sure that it's as fast as possible. And you can see they're already starting to be created. So you've got the one active right there.
And 2 more pending.
2 more pending. So we're getting there. And it's easy as this to bring over existing G Suite clients. There we go, we're done. Bring over the existing clients to yourself. So now you have that billing relationship with your clients. A couple things I would like to point out. Google on its own offers a few different billing scenarios. So if your client was on a flexible billing scenario, this has now moved them over to annual for yourself. One thing I would I'd like you to be aware of is that if your client is on an annual subscription, Google doesn't give them any kind of a refund for bringing them over to you, because what this does is it starts up a new annual subscription. So if they're only partway through the year, you may want to have that conversation with them if it's a good time for them to be brought over. Generally, what people do is near the end of that cycle, if they're on an annual paid cycle, to do that. Just something to be aware of.
Or, like if it is someone that only has 2 or 3 seats, maybe it's worth it to eat that little bit of cost to get them in, because as we all know, G Suite is going to be an extremely sticky product.
So this is going to allow me to show you a couple of things. So now I've gone into the portal.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll before I talk about the users that have been set up for you, under setup, this is what it looks like when you've been successfully verified. So this domain has already been verified for you. So something I'd like to point out is if you don't use the verification within this tool and you do it on the side through Google, that's fine. The next time you come in here, it'll proactively look for you and show verified. So this is a way for you to know that the domain verification has been successful for your client. If you go back to users, we set up for you all of the users, the email addresses, everything. The only thing that we haven't done for you at this point is assign them to the Business Center user. That's something that you'll have to just quickly make sure that there's Business Center users set up and create them. And we were talking before, if I go to this and there's no Business Center user, well, you can't actually do it from here. You'll have to go back into Partner Center
and create those users.
Here. No, we're thinking future thought, but potentially there'll be a workflow where you can do it directly from here. But it was as quick and easy as that. You now own this account for your client, and you've now transferred over everything for you. So they're good to go. So I believe that's the end of my demo.
Thank you so much, Levi. That was awesome. So now I'll quickly go through some of this because I know we're going to want to get to those questions right away. For everybody on the line, just so you're aware, it is $47.50 per year. Again, it's that annual thing. For G Suite, again, that comes with 1 seat, as well as the G Suite user, which is an additional suite for that organization. And that transferring that Levi just walked us through, same pricing. Again, it is whitelisted right now, so you're not going to see it in your platform. If you do want the transferring capabilities, please reach out to Success on Demand, and we'll make sure we get it on for you. Quickly, I just wanted to break it down a little bit more about the pricing. So for you, $47.50 a year, this is what you're purchasing it for. If your clients go to Google Direct, they're paying $60 per year. So you do have some room to mark this up. Not a large amount, but again, this product is extremely sticky. If you get someone in with their email, you can then start getting them for other products and services, and they're not going to leave you. And then as well, for any G Suite cloud partners, they pay between $50 and $60. So still giving you room for some margin. We do have some really great handling objections directly from Google. This deck is going to be up on the webinar page. We're going to post this webinar with this deck. I'm going to leave these objections for you guys to come in to see, as well as I believe we're going to have them on the product page so you can see those objections. Just because of time, I really want to open it up for questions, so I'm not going to go through those right now. So that being said, if you do have any questions, if you haven't already, please type them into the chat box and we'll get to as many as we can. All right, let's just give us 1 second while you guys start putting some questions in. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. We're going to start going through them. All right. For $47.50 wholesale per year, this is the basic G Suite. Are we able to offer enterprise or business through Vendasta?
Yeah, so business is planned for right around the corner. I can't give you a specific date for that, but that's coming right away. Enterprise, we're kind of judging demand on that. We want to see if there's a lot of demand for it, and if there is, we'll definitely offer it. But business for sure.
Good thing to know, if you are offering enterprise and you want to keep offering it, reach out to us, reach out to your partner success manager, reach out to anybody you know at Vendasta and let us know so that we know that the demand is there for it. All right, I have my agency as well as other clients on G Suite. The price is better with you. How do we switch over those existing accounts to Vendasta and to use through this platform?
All right, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. That's through the transfer app that hopefully you had a chance to see in the demo. It's pretty quick and painless. You need the transfer token, and we can definitely reach out. We'll make sure that it's whitelisted for you, and we can even have somebody kind of walk through it with you. But it's as simple as making sure you have the transfer token, and everything's kind of pulled over, and it's now through us.
All right, that's a really good answer. Again, I'm just going to mention our Success on Demand again. They will get it turned on for you. So if you want to get those transferred over, Levi took you through the process, reach out. They'll make sure you have that transfer app turned on in your environment. A different question here, are we able to have multiple addresses going to the same user?
Yeah, it's a great question. One good way to do that is through email address aliases. And that is what you'd be doing now that's handled by the Google admin console, which I haven't gone into. That's kind of on Google's side, but it's just admin.google.com. And if you can do it through email address aliasing.
All right, so a quick question just about the slides. Are we able to get a copy of these slides? Absolutely. Later today, if not early tomorrow, we will be posting this webinar up on our resource center, and the slides will be there with it. So if you like the slides, if you want to use the slides, totally available for you.
So yeah, Tim's got a good question here. What happens when a customer needs to add other tools like VPS, for example? I'll need a little bit more background information on that. So maybe, Tim, if you could reach out with a specific example to Success on Demand, I can get the team looking at that. That one will take a little bit of looking at.
All right, looks like we got some questions going through the chat, so I'm just going to jump over quickly and take a look at those. Give us just 1 second here. All right, thanks everyone. We're just going through the questions that are in the chat now. All right, in order to get a branded email on G Suite, will the client have to first secure or purchase a domain?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really key, because one of the biggest selling points for G Suite is domain branded email. So you get to be, somebody at bobsflowers.com, not bob@gmail.com. So that domain is a very key piece for it. So you do have to have a domain secured first. Absolutely.
Another question, can you have more than 3 suites or users? Absolutely, you can. You can have as many as you want, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 250. It's all just getting additional users set up there.
I'll answer this. So there's a good question about a client currently using O365. Can they have the calendar be synced with the Gmail calendar? I will admit that I don't know the answer to this off the bat, but I do know that Google has done a lot of work with their syncing capabilities. So it wouldn't be surprised to me if that could happen, either directly through Google or through a third-party tool, through Chrome or something like that.
Another question just about suggested markups. What is the suggested markup? Well, again, it's going to depend on your client, what they're currently doing, what they're currently paying. If they're going to Google Direct and paying $60 per year on an annual, I would definitely say either keep it the same. Don't tell them I said that, or maybe go a little bit lower. If they're going through another Google reseller or a Google Cloud partner and they're getting it for $50 a month, you could just take it over for that amount and make sure that they're going through you. So, you know, between the 50 to 60 range, there is definitely room for you to price it out. But again, you don't want to mark it up higher than what they're currently paying.
Good question about when I transfer, will there be any downtime? And will my account that is already set up be billed? Yeah, in terms of downtime, we've seen, I mean, the transfer process is very quick. I would, because of the way that Google handles changes, I would allot for about 10 minutes for this. I think it's going to be much shorter. Downtime shouldn't be that long, but I wouldn't claim that it was absolutely instantaneous. What you will need to be careful for, though, is when you bring over these clients to this platform, again, they will be going from, they will now be logging in with their Business Center credentials. So in order to minimize downtime, set up all these Business Center accounts first, make sure that these users can log in nicely with their new and the passwords and such. And then it should be a very, very fast process. So I do recommend having these Business Center users set up and tested first.
Yeah. Some other questions about who to contact if you want to get the transfer added. You can reach out to either support@vendasta.com or partnersuccess@vendasta.com, or you can go and send a quick chat, or even from your Partner Center dashboard, click on the contact our support team. Any of those methods, you can reach someone here that will be able to help you, and they can get it turned on for you. Another person just asked about the other two plans. Like Levi said before, it is the basic for right now. We are looking at adding the business. And if there is demand for the enterprise, so if you do want to offer the enterprise, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can look at bringing that one in as well.
Great question about support. What about support? Does the client call Google or us? Yeah, this is a great question. The client does have access to call Google. So if they want to call Google, they can. What we found, though, is for a lot of people, that's where, partner will add a lot of extra value to the client. So this is where getting good and familiar with G Suite yourself is a big bonus and a value add for your client. So if you don't want to deal with support, your client does have access to call Google Direct. They may or may not like, that calling Google Direct. It's not really, you should probably, if that's the route you want to go, you'll have to kind of direct them to it. The support isn't really obvious to find. It's there, but it's a little bit hidden. But if they want to go, if you want to handle the support, if you're going to be charging your client for the support, then they could call you direct. So either way, supported.
Yeah, and I know some people on the line said they're charging $75 per setup. We've had other partners say if they're selling it with websites, they're set up, they're charging $150 to $200. So definitely room for everybody to make some additional margins and revenue from setting it up.
Another good question. We have somebody who gets charged monthly and they charge their client monthly. Is there a monthly plan with this? Well, you can always, of course, in terms of how you're charging your client, you can always charge monthly through this. The annual setup fee, or the annual G Suite fee right now is the only plan that we offer at the moment, but on our radar is a more flexible plan. If you prefer to be charged monthly, that is something that we are heavily considering at this point. We're seeing what the demand is like.
Yeah, and I think we should add there, the reason we went with annual to begin with is from feedback from our team at Google. They, let us know that most of their sales are with the annual. So, we wanted to do what the majority were already doing, which is why we went with the annual. But, if we want to see it as monthly, if we're getting a lot of people that's how they offer it, it's definitely something we'll look into further.
Absolutely. Yep. Can you transfer ownership to another account if one should happen to cancel early? If somebody on the annual plan, if you have a client that wants to cancel early, what generally would happen is that we would release them back to Google. So then they would no longer have that relationship with yourself. But there are some potential other options. I'll have to talk with the team a little bit more about that. But generally, that's what happens is that if a client wants to cancel early before the end of the year is up, they're just released back to Google.
Perfect. I think we've gone through everyone. If we missed anybody, my apologies. We were going back between the questions as well as the chat. So if we missed anyone, my apologies. We will look through all the questions after and follow up with you. Next steps for everyone on the line, go into Marketplace and enable the product. If you want the transfer, again, reach out to our team, whether you do it right from your dashboard by clicking support at the top right there, or emailing them at support@vendasta.com. You can build it as a package, whether it's standalone or bundled. I know majority of the partners that we talk to that were already offering G Suite are bundling it with hosting, with websites, as well as with a new business package. Again, if you have any questions, definitely just reach out to our team. Thank you so much for being on with us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.